Welcome to Mamas and Mannies. I'm your host, Trina. This is a short form podcast for mamas that are looking for a quick burst of me time. But before we continue, go ahead and hit that like button and share this with another mama that is looking for something different. As always, we're going to do something a little bit different. Usually we start with a quote or a motivational saying, inspirational thought. This week, especially since the weather was cold, most of the states, I think, had like a cold burst in the month of January. Then, it came back around, got warm. I think most places got warm in the states. Now, this week it's actually supposed to get cold again. So I wanted to go over, I saw this on Jeni's ice cream. I've talked about them in the past. I like Jeni's ice cream. We have one here, but several. The one I can think of right now is one off of Ponce, and then there's also one at Truist Stadium. So she called this Fool Spring, or whoever runs their social media, and they broke down the seasons. First is winter, Fool Spring, which they said we are in right now, or probably last week because it was nice, beautiful. I think here we almost got up to 70 degrees. And then second winter, spring of deception, probably is going to warm up again. Third winter, that probably depends on where you live at. Mud season, actual spring, summer, false fall, second summer, actual fall. So those are the seasons instead of just your four seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall, they put some in between. And depending on where you live at in the world, I know, I can speak for Georgia because this is where I've lived probably most of my life. Those seasons are really true to what was wrote there. So that's just something to make you laugh. You were cold in January, got warm, got a little bit warmer. Now, this week is supposed to get colder again. And I'm just thinking, I actually washed my daughter's bigger coats because I was like, okay, we're done with these. I want to wash them, go ahead and put them in the closet. I'm going to have to bring them back out this week. That is so crazy to me. But guess what time it is? It's mama time. This week's mama time is going to be, something quick, just a weekly update, see how things are going. I would love to hear your feedback. I know for here in Metro Atlanta, some schools were out the full week of President's Day, that week after President's Day, and some schools were only out for President's Day. My girls, we only had the one day out, so we really didn't do much. I know we did. We went to go visit my parents in Augusta. We went down and did a quick turnaround, had lunch with them. We actually went to Cheddar's, which was surprisingly good and it was affordable. For all four of us, our girls still eat kids' meals. So I think their kids' meals may have been like $7 or $8. One of them had a hamburger and fries. The other one had chicken tenders and fries. It came with a drink. And like I said, it was about $7 or $8 a piece for each of them. Then me and my husband, we ordered off of the lunch menu. I had what did they call it? Like a veggie cheesesteak, but it's basically mushrooms and onions. It was actually pretty good. And I had a side salad with it, and my husband ordered the chicken pot pie. And I think both of those meals were like less than $9. So for us, a family of four, it was like $40. So give or take about 10 or more for each of us. And that's including the tip. So that was actually pretty good. So if you're looking for somewhere to go for lunch, that's economical for the kids. If your kids still eat kids meals, even if your kids don't eat kids meals, you can actually order from the lunch menu. And a lot of items were under $15. So it's really affordable. And I hadn't been to Cheddar's in a long time. They also had, I don't know what kind of, like croissants, buttered croissants. So those were good too. So check that out if you're looking for somewhere to eat. And then we did that. just visited my parents. We really didn't do much else. And then my kids had to go back to school. So just a regular week. No, nothing special. I'm trying to think. I don't think anything happened really spectacular during the week, but I would love to hear if you did have, I don't know what this would be called. I guess it's called like winter break, maybe? Because I guess back in December, that would have been called like the holiday break. I don't know. But if you had an official winter break, I would love to hear what you guys did. Did you travel? I know sometimes people book like cruises in advance, especially I think with cruises, the earlier you book, the less expensive it is. So I've known in the past when I worked with someone, they booked the cruise like a year in advance because they knew their kids were going to be out of school. I would love to hear that. Or even if you went to like Disney World, I don't know. I think Disney may still be kind of pricey just because a few people are out of school. And then if depending on if you go to public or private school, spring break starts like in March. I think when I looked, the least expensive time to do Disney was in September after Labor Day and before, I think, the middle of October. But anyway, didn't really do anything, worked at my job, did an overnight shift, then did the usual cooking dinner, getting breakfast together, working out at the gym. I found another gym. I still go to my usual gym for spin on Monday and Wednesday, but to this other gym, I go to like a boot camp style fitness group class on Tuesday and Thursday. So I do that at 5:30, which I really enjoy. Is something great. I think it looks like he does routines. I don't want to say routines, but like we do these 15-minute blocks of 4 or 5 exercises, and I'm going to call it a routine because I can't think of anything else. And he changes the routine up each month. So I like that. I can see the results. I feel a lot better. It's more challenging. I'm doing less reps. So that gives me more of an opportunity to lift heavier weights, which I prefer because I've read that heavier weights helps even more when you get more mature. So did that. I don't think I have much. But let me know in the comments. Again, I would love to hear what you did if your kids were out on winter break, whatever this is called, President's Day break. And if you have anything coming up, maybe if your kids are going to be on spring break in the month of March, my kids are going to be on spring break. We're going to take a trip to Charlotte, which should be fun. Me and my husband have been to Charlotte. We actually went in 2020, but we're going to go again, take the kids, visit like the Science Museum on the way up there and do some things around the city. So we're going to have a great time. And, I just wanted to keep this episode short and sweet. Let me know what you have been doing. Have you been doing your me time? And this week, my me time was actually, once a week, I have to do my hair. So usually if I don't do anything else, at minimum, my me time was doing my hair. Usually, most of the time, I am at home by myself. I can do my hair in silence, nobody else. I may listen to a book or a podcast or something like that. So that was my me time for this week. Let me know what you did for your me time. Would love to hear it. And remember, go ahead and follow us on all social media platforms at Mamas and Mannies. Follow us on our YouTube channel at Mamas and Mannies. Join the Patreon account at Mamas and Mannies so we can have a community, communicate, talk to each other. Would love to have you. Remember to like, share, hit the bell for notifications so you'll know when we come out with a new episode, shorts, and all that good stuff. And remember that me time is essential and it is never selfish. Have a great week.